These are the best and worst of times in sports. They're the best of times because you can go home and watch anything at any point at any time. Everybody's got a network. We've got 1,700 networks, ESPN 1 and 2 and ESPN 3 online and .com and the magazine and ESPN Classic and ESPN Regional. It syndicates games all over the country. Fox has their networks, and Fox Sports 1 is going to start. And then all the regional networks in Detroit and all the other cities you go around. NBC has its own cable network. They have the Golf Channel. Tennis has its own network. Bowling has its own, well, maybe not, but you get the point. There's access to everything at all times. And when something happens and there's not video of it, what do you mean? That's not the case. Well, I just want to go back just a little bit. I'm 46. In 1970, I was a little kid, and Monday Night Football started. And why was Monday Night Football a big deal? Well, let's think about it for a second. There were 3 networks. I see a couple of people who look at least as old as I am. For those of you, the majority of you who are prettier, handsomer, and more young than we are, we actually had to get up and turn the TV on. We didn't just press a power button on the remote control. And the people you see shaking your head, now you know those are the people who are in their almost 50s. Shh, don't share that though. You had to get up and turn the channel. They got a knob on the TV, rabbit ears as antennas. You had to put tinfoil on these antennas so you could see your show at your time. Excuse me. When CBS was asked, do you want Monday Night Football? Do you want to put an NFL game on national TV at night? They laughed. When NBC was asked, they laughed. So CBS and NBC were the tops, and ABC was a distant third. So Art Modell, I don't know if you've heard of Art Modell. He was the owner of the Cleveland Browns for a long time. Just recently passed away, sold the Cleveland Browns, famously moved them in the middle of the night out of Cleveland to Baltimore. Very disappointed in what happened with the folks in Cleveland. They got a new team a few years later. That team hasn't made the playoffs since it's come back, but they're still very loyal fans. So Art Modell was a visionary. His roots are in advertising. And if you have an interest in football and the history of football and have this love for advertising or the vocation, I would suggest you go Google Art Modell and advertising. You'll see he was behind some very interesting ad concepts way back when. Art grew to be a TV executive, understood consumers and what consumers liked, made a bunch of money, got into owning an NFL team, which was not as costly as it is now, and owned the Cleveland Browns, and they were very successful. So Art had this idea to put the NFL on in prime time. Remember, baseball far eclipsed professional football at this point in America. So they went to ABC, who was last, and ABC said, yes, we'll do it. Pete Rozelle and Roone Arledge for the NFL and ABC respectively were absolute visionaries, made it work, made it happen. So they're sitting in this first meeting, and I'll do the parallel story now. This is 1970. In 1969, Joe Namath and the Jets won the Super Bowl, beating the Baltimore Colts. It was the seminal moment for the National Football League. This New York guy from the upstart AFL, these really rebellious 60s type people were the AFL. That's how it was seen by the old boring establishment of the NFL. Namath won the Super Bowl. The 2 leagues are about to merge. The AFL and the NFL make this one big league. So Art Modell says, we're going to do this Monday Night Football. ABC's on board. They want to go at 9, not 8, because they don't want to give up all of prime time in case this thing's a complete flop. Art Modell says, who wants to host the game? While the owners are on the table. Who wants to host these Monday night games? Not one hand went up. So Modell had to show full belief in his idea, and he said, okay, none of you want it? I'll take the first game. And he reached across the table, and he looked at the commissioner, Pete Rozelle, and he said, but I want Namath in my first game. And he got Joe Namath in the first game. The first Monday night game was September 18 of 1970, the Jets and the Cleveland Browns. And the story goes, Art Modell staying on the roof of Old Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, hoping the parking lots start filling up, hoping to see people coming. And then about 8:30, he looks out and he sees a stream of lights heading towards the parking lots. He was happy because he owned them, and at that time, tickets, concession, and the parking were the top revenue streams, not the money they were getting from TV or anything of the sort. People didn't go to game in jerseys and hats. They went to game in suits and ties and hats, and they were dressed like they were going out for the evening. Fast forward, Modell calls the ABC production truck and says, is there any chance we can push the game back a few minutes? I want people to get into the stadium. The parking lots are jammed. We're having to park people way out, far as we've ever had before. They sold out the stadium. Cleveland beat Namath and the Jets. It was a rating success. And 40 some odd years later, here we continue with Monday Night Football in a different place, in a different world, a different time. And it's something that has redefined my life because it's been so special. And somebody said to me when I got the job, congratulations on the job, you know, this will be in the first paragraph of your obituary. Quite a thought. It's a great way to embark on a career. But it's amazing when you say Monday Night Football to people, as my mom said, even my friends who don't know what you do now know what you do. And that's the reach of the NFL. It's the power of prime time, and it's the uniqueness of the event. And the schedule on Sunday nights is very strong and stronger than the Monday night schedule on many weeks. The most watched game of the week in the NFL is Sunday afternoon at 4:15. That game is what now 4:25, excuse me. That is watched by more people than Sunday night or Monday night. Although you wouldn't think that, but that's the truth. But why does Monday night remain special? And again, it's messaging and marketing and reality, and it hits home because Mondays suck. We all know it. Mondays are the worst day to go back to work, and you know that you've got to deal with all those people. I just gave you all that stuff about teamwork, all those people you love. You got to deal with them for 4 more days, and that stinks. So Mondays are really bad. Monday Night Football has become a place to hang your hat for men, and now as the NFL continues to grow more and more in the understanding and the reality and the eye-opening truth of, hey, women like sports. It doesn't have to be women's sports that women like. Women like to watch sports as well. All of a sudden, you realize Monday is a place for people to go and get away from the world for a little bit, and every week that football game's there.